You could love someone, you could be loyal and do everything right, and your relationship could still fail. We've seen it, we've experienced it. So my question is, what are you missing?
Welcome back to another episode of Living Your Truth. My name is Walisha, alongside my special black man.
Mike Marcus. We help you guys navigate the journey of real love. So we thought to just speak about something that's really important to everybody, right? And we realize a lot of relationships is failing. And it's not due to the relationship being necessarily bad, but sometimes just people just, I think, just float away from each other, grow apart, as we would say. So just want to ask your thoughts on it, Alicia. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what's the cause of something like that?
You can love someone, you can be loyal, do everything right, and your relationship can still fail.
Yeah. But why? Why do you feel that way? Like, why do you think it's still? I don't know if maybe you could speak from experience. So I'm gonna give you an example. So let's just say someone was together for 5 years. Everything's going well. Well, at least they think everything's going well. And then out of nowhere, you know, the dating stops. The nice gestures stop. The beautiful kind words stop. Like just saying, "Hey, beautiful, how you doing?" She only can hear that in the street from a random guy. So I'm saying, and then maybe the guy being called handsome. Maybe he don't hear that as often, and he probably is not hearing that in the streets. But at least he's supposed to be hearing that from his wife or his spouse.
Right. So I don't really like the word good, right? I don't like good relationship. I want to shift that to healthy. Your relationship should be healthy. Is your relationship still healthy? Has it always been healthy? If the answer to that is like, I don't know, then that's where people have to start, because whatever you've done to get that person should always be maintained, right? The relationship, if it starts off healthy, it should remain healthy. But that takes work. A lot of times people they stop loving, they stop liking their partner. Let me say that. People stop liking their person and they get comfortable. And one person will always say, you don't do what you used to do in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And I would follow through with that with, and neither do you.
Tit
Because
for
it
tat.
takes, not necessarily, because it takes two to tangle, right? The other person has to continue to feel that way about you. If somebody has stopped doing something that, you used to like, or you've stopped doing something that that person used to like, it's up to the other person to remind them, like, oh, hey, like, what's up? Or keep that energy going. Oh, like, you stopped doing this, so let me start to do something. Like, it's a seesaw, right?
Yeah.
Up, down, up, down, up, down. So maintaining a healthy relationship is crucial. You have to continue to show up just how you did before you got them.
Yeah. But that I feel like it's pretty. Well, speaking from experience, do you feel like do you feel like it's something that maybe somebody doesn't even notice is missing anymore? The complacency.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
cause I really don't feel like people necessarily lose the love for the person. I think they lose the excitement.
Right. I can agree to that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just asking you, like from your personal perspective as a woman, what is it? What is it that? How do you keep up with the man? Like keeping the man, you know, I don't know, like keeping things fresh, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Just intentional.
Okay. So for me, I'm naturally a very consistent person. Like, let's start there. I'm a consistent friend, I'm a consistent partner. Like, that's me. Like, I require consistency. And what I do for myself, I would do for somebody that I love. And I feel like once people stop doing these things for themselves, they stop doing it for their partner. And we start to drift away from what our partners want and, kind of fall short. And it's up to that person to recognize, like, hey, what haven't I been doing? Like, because if you're naturally doing something for yourself, you should be doing it for your person. People, they just fall short. They just get distracted, I would say.
Yeah.
People are very distracted because there's not a day that I wake up that I don't think about you because I'm naturally thinking about myself.
Thank God. Amen.
You know, the love has to be maintained. A lot of the times people just, they take on too much, and what happens is that their relationship becomes more like a chore versus, a day-to-day connection.
Right.
It becomes like a task. Like people get tired of doing certain things for their person because they feel like, I don't know, like they should be rewarded for it in some way, shape, or form. Like they're expecting something like drastic, right? Instead of just continuing to be patient,
Yeah.
continuing to communicate, continuing to be consistent. Because it's like, what am I doing all of this for? I think people naturally feel like they should get things because of them continuing to do something, right?
Because I'm your wife. Because I'm your husband. Basically,
Right.
like,
There's like this
situation.
big expectation that's unrealistic. Like what people don't understand is that a partnership is just that. Like show up for me, I'll show up for you. Like should we do nice things for each other? Absolutely. But are you doing this to get nice things, or are you doing this because you love that person?
Right. Just only thinking about the outcome and not actually doing it with intention. Like, hey, I want this person to feel good. I want my person to feel good. And I think about that a lot too.
It comes from social media.
You think so?
Absolutely. People are looking at what other people are doing for their partners, and they're like, why don't you do that for me?
Oh, yeah. Naturally, just always going to compare. I mean, I think naturally people just compare in general. Even when they see people, like a couple out and about, they like, oh, why you hold the door for me? Like, I think naturally, even if they may take a note about it, like, oh, man, you don't do that for me anymore, anything like that. So I just think people naturally just have that. I think social media, like, I feel like it enhanced it,
Yeah,
because
for
now
sure.
it's just unrealistic because you don't know what's real or fake no more. That's really the problem. It's another big thing that I really feel why people start to drift away in relationships or marriages is mainly because, well, one of the main reasons as well is people forget about themselves. Everything becomes about the wife or the husband, vice versa, or even about the kids, that they forget about the relationship, the marriage.
Emotional needs, communication, and feelings.
Yeah, you on point like a
It
pencil.
starts there. What do I need? I think people submerge themselves so much into their relationship that it's impossible for them to fully show up because they're neglecting some parts of themselves that they don't necessarily know how to say without seeming selfish.
Yeah. Now you're absolutely right. So my thing is, and so just going back to what I was saying, it's just about individuality. What's the best way someone can not forget about themselves, even though they're in a marriage or a long-term relationship?
They should have times to be to themselves. Like there should be some type of system, routine, structure that can be maintained separately and together. And I think it's super important for people to be on the same page. I think a lot of times people are not really compatible, and they're forcing a person to be for them that's not really with them, right? It goes to, this drive, schedules, routine, what type of person you are versus what type of person your partner is. A lot of the times people are not similar, and we've been tricked into thinking that opposites attract, right? I don't necessarily agree to that. Can it happen? Yes. But is it something that is long lasting? No, I think it's thrilling.
Yeah. See, so I want to say it's not really necessarily that. It definitely attracts, right? Because some people I think it's a curiosity factor more than anything. It's like, oh, well, you're different from me. Like, I kind of like that. You got a little razzle dazzle. Like, it's cool.
But it's a disconnect.
But I think long term to sustain it, that's the real thing. I feel like, it's like a negative positive, right? And it's like, it could work because batteries work, right? Negative
Absolutely.
positive.
They
But
sure do.
at the end of the day, it's also something that we're like layers though. We're not like batteries, right? It's layers to us. So we're like onions. So it's like, what's the deeper part
Right.
within a relationship? That's what we got to really figure out, or we have to figure out through experience. That's
Yeah.
from actually dating each other. So
Dating, though, I like that you said that because a lot of people, I want to say swindle I think that's the best word to use in this scenario. They swindle their way into a relationship that was never supposed to progress.
That's true.
Like, it's okay to date somebody and not be with them. But what
Yeah.
people, they skip that. They skip that vetting process and they just jump straight into,
Hey, hey, hey.
they, they skipping steps.
Nah,
And
yeah,
then you
yeah.
fall in love with that instead of the actual person.
Yeah.
Then you start to make excuses for them. Then you start to, put things that are not really there. And that is a problem because this person was never supposed to get this far. People just don't want to be alone, right?
Yeah.
Or they're avoiding the work, or they have unhealed trauma that they're trying to suppress by just moving on quickly because something is new, it's exciting, it's fun. But they skip the dating process. They skip that. They skip the initial questions. So how did you grow up? Who did you grow up with? Where did you grow up? What kind of child were you?
Yeah.
What was your childhood like? Who are your parents? What do they do? What did they teach you? How did they communicate? What did you grow up seeing? People are
Right.
not asking these questions. And then they're making permanent decisions and can't go back on it. And then they end up hating each other. All because they didn't do the work. They rushed the relationship. That probably would have been better off as a friendship.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I suggest, Sue, and I'm thinking about it now. I think just giving an example I used in the beginning, being together with somebody for 5 years, that's pretty a long time. I'm just thinking when it comes down to the 5 year span, I think a lot of times people just don't understand how to really check on them, like check on their partner.
But you know something? I don't really like that you're saying 5 years, right? Because nobody really, really knows how long we've been together.
Yeah.
So to say 5 years is like, what's time? It's made up.
That's
People
true.
just have to stop skipping steps. People can't say, oh, we've been together this long. Why haven't we done this? Why haven't we done that? Those things can happen at any time.
Yeah, no, you're right. I just mentioned 5 years because we're going by, the audience. We're going by most people. They're gonna ask, "Hey, how long you guys been together?" Because everybody's gonna size
And we
up
never tell,
time.
by the way.
We never do. But most people, most people are gonna size up time. I use 5 years because it's like, oh, they've been together for a minute. It's respected, right? To most, they're like, oh, 5 years been a
Is
minute.
disrespected?
Oh, that been respected, baby.
And it
That been
ain't
respected.
yes.
Nah, you're right. You're right. That's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, but people respect it. So I'm just saying, I feel like people forget to. I don't think people know how to check on their partner properly.
Right.
I really personally think they think that walking in the house and be like, "Hey, babe, how was your day?" That's the check-in. That becomes a norm. How's your day? How's your day? How's your day? How's your day?
And
And
when
what I'm
people
saying is,
ask that, it's usually like, do you really want to know, or do you expect me to say it was fine?
but
like-
that's what I'm saying. But how deep could you get with just a question like, "How was your day?" That's very surface level.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to say. That becomes the norm. So guess what? Your relationship is surface level.
Yeah. What are some questions we ask each other?
I mean, we ask numerous questions. I mean, it's not just one question.
Give the audience 3.
3. So we may say, is there anything that I can change? Do you still feel good about the relationship that we have? What else? I feel like I'm thinking about more than one question at the same time. The third one would be like,
Is there anything I could do more or less of?
yeah, there we go. That was the one I actually wanted to find right there. Yes. I think that that's such a key question, because,
What do you need from me? How can
Yeah.
I show up for you?
yeah,
Are you happy?
yeah.
What do you feel in this current moment?
Yeah. See, but that's what I'm saying. It's not surface level. And those questions even change with us. So it ain't always those exact same questions, because then what? We're more prepared for it. It's about the random questions that's not surface level that may even be like, wow, I really got to think about this. How do I really feel? What can she do more of that I would never even ask her to do? But I didn't even know was missing, So being able to voice that to each other helps a lot. Weekly check-ins.
And that's why I said, like, a lot of relationships become like a task and less about a connection. When your relationship feels like a task, you stop asking questions because you're like, I don't even want to take on any more than what I am already. And that's a disconnect, because it's like you have to continue to show up for your partner. The connection is lost a lot of the times.
Yeah.
It's just lost. People are just tolerating each other. They're accepting each other. But do they really love each other? Are they still in love? I think people need to ask their partner that, like, yo, are you still in love with me?
Man, come on now. That's a tough question. Because to be honest, people may not ask it because they're afraid to hear the answer. But that's what living your truth is about. If you're going to be with somebody, marry somebody, that's a long-term commitment. That's the rest of your life, right? Or even being in a long-term relationship, right? Even being in a relationship is supposed to be long-term. It's not meant to be short.
Right.
That you save that for dating. That's another thing, right? Just understanding what you want. And then when you meet this person, understand what they want and understand if it's even aligned or not. And it's okay. You may like them a lot. But understand, if you're going to decide to commit to them, be in a committed relationship, then lead to marriage, you first have to understand, are you guys even aligned with what you want in your life?
People have to be more honest, though. Like, people are not showing up as themselves because the fear of rejection. But what they don't understand is showing up how you are gets you your life partner. You know what I'm saying?
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No, but you know what it is? Fear of rejection. That bothers me. You know what always bothers me? I don't know what everybody's so scared of. They've been rejected their whole life from yay high.
People want what they want.
I get it. But what I'm saying is, why are we so afraid of rejection when we've been rejected most of our lives? Literally.
Some people just can't take it.
But, all right, so those are the people that's going to lose. They would never really find what's really for them because they can't take rejection.
Would you call it the easy way out?
It's definitely an easy way out because I think like this, and maybe because I'm in sales. But this philosophy helped me in my life where it's like, all right, the more people I talk to, this may sound a little crazy relationship-wise, but I'm just thinking like sales-wise, the more people I talk to, right? And I ask them, hey, how you doing? My name is Mike. Just want to know really quick, do you happen to know anybody looking to sell or buy any real estate? And they tell me no. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm getting closer to my yes.
Why you said that was going to sound crazy relationship-wise?
Because it's like, to be like, hey, my name is Mike. And for me, I sell real estate. And I really think you're real beautiful. Can I take you on a date? I don't really know how far this will get me, but I'm just saying, like,
I did not expect you to go there. But no, you are not asking the girls if they, oh my goodness. Yo, you a salesman forever. You going to be a salesman till you die. You know that?
No, but hold on. I'm just saying, I'm just using that because that's a part of rejection. I could never get a client without expecting to be rejected.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, number game, everybody do not tell me yes. Most people do not tell me yes.
Well, it's not yes at first. Exactly.
But guess what? The no, when you hear the no in relationship wise, like you're going to try to date somebody, let's say, trying to, take them on. The whole idea is they may say no at first.
Right.
But this no,
knee-jerk reaction.
It's a knee-jerk reaction. Maybe they're not in the space right now at this second. Maybe you're calling at a bad time. It's a lot of variables that you're not considering. Now your feelings are hurt, right? You all of your feels. And now you're thinking, oh, they don't want me. But maybe it was just the wrong timing.
You know something? It's so funny that you say that, right? Because I think of like people in long-term relationships that have been, presented with certain discrepancies, certain problems, like an argument, which have caused them to shut down and change, right? Or like look at things like, oh, this will never be the same again, right? And I think of direct deposit. Now, think about the concept of direct deposit. Now, most of the jobs I've ever gotten into, I didn't get paid until 3 weeks in. But most jobs you get paid every 2 weeks. Now, your first check you don't get it in 2 weeks. You get it in 3 weeks, right? And then after 3 weeks, it's every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, I would ask people like, have you ever experienced a shortage on your check? Do you quit the job? Or do you wait for payroll to fix it? You don't say, damn, they delayed my money or they was short on my money. Nah, I'm out of here.
Nah, never.
You go to fix it and you say, yo, this is a discrepancy with my check.
Yes.
Can we fix this?
Yes. But you're not afraid of that rejection. No matter what they tell you, you're not afraid to ask.
You're not afraid because you want to get the money. You want them to fix it.
You want them to fix it. You want the relationship with the job. You want to
it.
continue to get paid on time, of course. But I'm just saying, you want to fix the issue.
That's right.
Ah, I love that. Wow, babe, you on point like a pencil today.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
know.
I like that. So look, what do you really feel like is the major reason why good relationships are failing though? Like, what would you really like to top it off? Let name three reasons why relationships are failing, even though it's technically good.
Lack of emotional intelligence, comfortability, incompatibility.
Incompatibility.
People are not
So they
like their
just end up with
partner.
the wrong
They're
person,
just with the wrong person
and they just don't know.
that they're forcing to be their person, but that's not. And they're
It
just holding on. It's like, yo, that's not your person. They want that person to be their person so bad that they're tolerating disrespect. They're tolerating things that don't align with them because they're hoping for it to change. But they already see the person for who they are. They're just hoping for something different. So they're sticking it out, but they're hurting and neglecting themselves.
wow.
That person is not for you. Let that person go. It's
So
okay.
so let me ask you, when it comes down to those three reasons, do you feel once somebody noticed that, do you feel like they should just look to exit? Like, because incompatibility, I don't think you can really resolve that.
You can't.
You just can't, right? So, I don't know. At that
The other
point,
two
what?
can be worked on.
Yeah, the other two could be
Right, but
worked on.
it shouldn't feel like a task. It should feel like a connection. Because some people are like, damn, like I'm trying and you don't even recognize. It's like you're trying because you're waiting for them to say, okay, yeah, like it's like an end goal.
Yeah, yeah,
Trying is every day. Getting up, going to work, making money is every day.
yeah. But
Sleeping
trying
8
is
hours
failing,
is.
though, by the way.
You
I don't
see
even
what I'm
like the
saying?
word.
So at that point, is it real or is it forced?
So you just thinking maybe they've just been in a relationship for a long time. Mom and father love them. You know what I mean? Probably
Outside
had a kid.
factors, yeah.
Outside
Yeah.
factor friends. They think
Definitely
it's what's best for you.
circumstances. Yeah.
Circumstances, pretty much. The world. I think
Yeah.
it's like outskirt
And,
wise, right?
societal norms, embarrassment, all of these things. People are afraid to say, yo, this didn't work. I'm going to try something else. People
Yeah.
are afraid of being embarrassed publicly.
Is that a sign of like rejection?
Yeah, in a way.
In a way. Okay. So all of this stuff has to do with failing, rejection. So that's why people aren't either moving on when things aren't really working, even though it's considered good because.
I think people are afraid to face themselves. In making a decision, you got to stand on it.
True.
People are afraid of themselves.
That's true.
They don't know themselves.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so do you feel like people could find themselves with someone else? Like, meaning at the same time? Do you feel like that's a thing?
I don't think they should. Because how do they know it's them? If somebody else is supporting it, they have to feel good about it first.
But somebody first sometimes, yes, you're right. I do feel like sometimes people, I don't know, when they're in a long-term relationship, I just feel like people sometimes lose themselves too. That's what I'm trying to say. It naturally happens. I have been in relationships where the woman done expressed to me that they lost themselves within my vision and my own life. And it naturally happened. It wasn't something I was telling them. I'm telling them, hey, what do you want to do? I'm asking them questions. And it still happened.
But that's not because of you. That's a personal thing.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I'm telling you that they expressed to me it just happened. They felt like it was because of me. Maybe the way I was thinking and how big I'm thinking about things.
That's just a disconnect.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just that person not feeling compatible to you. They just feel like you're different from them. They lost themselves because the way you are is not who they are and how they are. Because if a person is for you, they can naturally adapt. I'm for you. Like, I understand the way you live, and I either can be with it or not be with it. It helps that I am because it's like, oh, like, yeah, this is my partner. Like, we got this. We can do this. I'm not ever going to stop you from doing things that you have to do. I would never tell you, oh, I don't know who I am because of you. No, we both coexist together
Yeah, that's true.
healthily.
That's true. You're right about that.
So that right there is incompatibility.
All right. I want you guys to be honest. Have you ever felt yourself drifting in your own relationship? Please comment. We would love to know your personal experience, with this. If you even, maybe it's not happening to you now, but we want to know if you ever experienced it in your life. Leave the comments below, like, comment, subscribe, and whatever you do, make sure nobody ruin your day. I'm going to leave you on that note. Peace.
Bye, guys.